RowdCAST contains adult languages, adult themes, and adult situations. Viewer discretion is advised.
No! No! No!
This is the RowdCAST. It's where I talk about what I want, when I want, however the fuck I want, and you can't do nothing about it, because this is the goddamn internet.
What the fuck is the internet?
First of all, dude, you don't have an accent. Secondly, this is a fucking show dog with fucking papers. You can't board it, it gets upset. Its hair falls out. Walter, fucking dog has fucking papers. Over the line!
Fuck it, I'm about to graduate. You should be sucking on my ball sack.
Oh man, that's cold! I'm a maniac on the floor, and I'm dancing like I've never danced before.
You are now entering the RowdCAST, an online internet radio show brought to you weekly by me, your host, Rowdy Radloff, coming live from Bellevue, Ohio. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Welcome back. Welcome to the show, you little pink panty dropping motherfuckers out there. Internet savages off an internet land with nothing better to do than to come listen to me on a Wednesday night. I had to think for a second what night it was. Days run together, man, when you stay busy and you stay active and stay on the ball. Like I said, yeah. Welcome to the show. And we are live on Spreaker.com. We are live with the RowdCAST. It is April 8th, 2015. And I have a brand new RowdCAST for you. I'm going to just cut to the chase. Because we're going to talk about whatever the fuck's on my mind. It's bugging me, and when something bugs me or irks me or gets under my skin, I usually, mostly, you will hear about it. You're going to know that it was something that really pushed my buttons or got me to think differently or, especially if it's something in the current events. So, what's going on right now? And unless you're living in a hut somewhere in a forest in Africa or a jungle somewhere, and you just have enough Ethernet to pick up the RowdCAST and you listen in your little jungle hut, in I think it's North Charleston, South Carolina, Sunday night, I believe. There was an officer, and he made a traffic stop. He goes to pull this guy over. The guy's got a turn signal out, or something. A turn signal or brake light, something very minor, something very stupid. He goes to make a routine traffic stop. What happens between this and that man that he pulled over ended up dead with 5 gunshot wounds to the back? We don't exactly know. It's hazy. But one thing that we do know is somewhere in between him getting shot and, him getting pulled over, we know that there was a man walking by, and he had his smartphone on, and he turned it on. He said he was on the phone and having a phone call, and he turned it on, and he ended up catching on his phone right as this man that he pulled over runs away and gets shot, and he catches it all on video. So this is where it gets interesting. He records the whole thing. We see the very beginning. It almost looks like they're on the ground wrestling around or fighting over something. You can't even really tell. But what you do see is the man stand up and he starts running. He starts booking. Just running away, And he's not running super fast. He's not, he just seems to be trying to get away from that police officer. As he's running, cop holds up his gun, and he fires about 8 shots. And in those 8 shots, he smokes the guy. Fucking smokes him. And the guy, can only take so many hits, and once he gets shot about 5 times, he falls to his knees, falls on his face, and the cop runs to him, and he cuffs him. You just shot the motherfucker 5 times. I understand you may be fearing for your life, but they cuff him, and he lays there on his face down. Another cop comes up and secures him, and they call for EMTs, they call for backup. But in this video, this guy that's walking by, he doesn't stop recording. He continues to roll footage through all this. We see the cop that fired the firearm. I believe is a Schlager, or Officer Schlager, Schrager. I'm probably butchering it. He goes back to where their scuffle was, or where the initiation, where the man started, the African American man started running away. He grabs something. He reaches back down on the ground, and there's an object there, and he picks that object up. He walks back to the man who's still been shot, and with his arms cuffed behind his back, laying face down in the grass, while the other officer is still securing him and checking him and, trying to keep him alive, I guess. I don't know exactly what he's doing. The guy looks dead. And then he slowly walks over, and it's hard to see, but if it's slowed down and like they've been showing it on every news channel and everything, he drops it at the feet of the man that's laying there shot, the African American man. And this is a white cop, of course. Why else would it be? How else would it go? White versus black, right? That's how it always seems. But he throws this object down, and if you're, I don't know how else to look at it, but it looks like he grabs something and plants it on the individual. And it gets better. The story gets better, of course. Of course it gets better. Or I wouldn't be fucking talking about it right now. So, they tell the dude's family, that somehow his brother knows and goes down there. Excuse me. His brother finds out that his brother that he's been shot or something. So he goes down to the scene. When he gets there, the cops say, he's dead. That he got shot. Not that he got shot 5 times. Not that, it doesn't leave all that. It just says that he's been shot. I'm not even sure if he told him he was dead at that time. He goes back and, he says he just doesn't understand because his brother wasn't a violent guy, and he would never fight with a police officer over a weapon or trying to beat up a police officer or something to get away. He said he had committed no crimes. He had a taillight missing, but he had a lot of back child support. That child support is, that's something that should be paid. You need to take care of your kids, but is that something to lose your life over? No. He's a bad father. That doesn't mean he's a killer or someone that should be executed. You go back through, he has most of his charges or something or contempt of court or child not neglecting his child support. He doesn't have a violent criminal record. He hasn't been arrested for robbing places, shooting people, drugs, nothing. He has one assault and battery charge when he was younger. He was a member of the U.S. Coast Guard. Now, I ask you people, what the fuck is going on? I'm as white as fucking as Powder. If you ever seen the movie Powder, the little boy that gets struck by lightning, he's all jacked fuck up, all wigged out. My skin is as white as it comes. But guess what? There's a problem. There's a serious, serious problem going on in this country. And if you can't see that, then I don't know how else to lay it out there for you. This is it's a serious, serious problem. And you could say, and of course, right now, I am live, Spreaker.com, we're rolling, there's a chat on there. I have a live chat going as this conversation is going on. If you have input or something to say or something that, you think I'm wrong or you'd like to debate something, because I know there's a lot of different views on this situation. But I'm going to tell you mine, and that's why we do the RowdCAST. The phone line, it's open. Phone line's open. It's 678-209-6564. You can call in, give me your input. You want to bullshit with me, the man, you can do that. I'll accept it. Why not? On a Wednesday night, talk about this crazy shit that our country is dealing with. We got killer cops, people. We got killer, corrupt, no good people out there. I don't know how else to say it. We have people wearing badges out there that can decide our fate, can take our lives, can lock us, ruin our lives, lock us in a cage, for years and years and years for smoking a plant, for, doing nothing. And I can sit here all day and say, I can tell you, yeah, I can sit here all day and say, listen, there's a lot of cops out there that are good cops. They're good men. I have people in my family. They're good guys. They're out there to keep us safe, to do their jobs, to protect the people, to keep the streets clean. That's what they're doing. And they work their ass off to do that. And when they hear people like me or the cop block people and shit out there, they get so offended and they get pissed. And I'm sure being a man of the law, they're disrespected. by the things that I say or the things that I think, or a lot of people are saying and thinking right now. But, and I understand that. That's your brethren. You want to stand by what you believe in. That's what you believe in. But we need you. I'm talking to the police officers out there now, and the lawmakers and the judges that are letting these people slide by and letting these criminals, they're criminals, off with a pass. I'm talking to you. We need you, the good cops, to say, yeah, listen, we got a problem here in law enforcement. We got people out here that are not trained like they should be. They're hotheads. They were picked on when they were younger. You know, they got a bully mentality now. They know that they're above the law, really. Because you wear a badge does not make you above the law. I think you should know that. But what I'm saying is we need those those law enforcement people to step up and say, yes, what these guys are doing is wrong. They need to be punished for it. You know, I'm not. And this is one thing that got me. They just had this fucking press conference on, and it showed the police chief, and they were, picking them apart. Because at first, they, Monday night, they released a report that there was a scuffle. The African-American man tried to get his taser away. He was trying to steal his taser, and he feared for his life, so he shot him. That was the report that they published. They said, and it was public. That's what happened. Tuesday comes, yesterday. That video fucking hits, man. This guy that videotaped it, he gave it to the family or gave it to the, I don't know. He had to, I don't know who he gave it to. I don't know if he gave it to the news to make money off it, but he gave it to somebody, and that hit the New York Times, and that thing was published last night, as soon as it hit, I think. And he did it because he said they need to know what really happened, what I just seen. And if there wouldn't have been that video, we wouldn't have seen anything. That report that was filed, that would have said, yeah, that's what happened. They fought over the taser. Even though the video shows him picking it up, there wasn't even a taser in his hand when he started firing the gun. And he walked over and put it next to his body so he could say that he tried to get it, or he got it away from him. He was running with it. If we have no video, we have no conviction. So they fired the guy. They took the cop. They said, nope. They said, well, now this video came out. We have to punish you now. Sorry, guy. And they're actually arresting him for murder is what the charge is. We'll see what happens. But see, what got me is, so this sheriff, or this police chief for this town, North Charleston, he said, I seen the video. It made me absolutely sick to my stomach. He said, we fired him. We severed his pay, but we're going to continue to honor his health benefits because his wife's pregnant, and we feel that's humane and fair. Excuse me when I say this. Did his wife do anything? Did his newborn baby that he's going to have, do anything? No. But what's humane and what's fair? Shooting someone in the fucking back and killing them and taking someone's father away, their brother away, their son away. That's not fucking humane. I don't care what color. I don't care what species. I don't care what kind of ethnicity, what kind of religion. I don't care what you are. You only have one life. You're lucky if you're here 60, 70 years. You have one. And you take that away from somebody. And not only did you take it away from them, did you kill them, you tried to set it up. Maybe you made a mistake, but then you go and try to cover it up. Like something happened that didn't happen. Something took place that did, and you lie about it. And other people that are there, all the cops that gave the reports, lied about it. They said these men were both officers were performing CPR and trying to revive him. He was laying with his face down in the grass, handcuffed, dead. Nobody was trying to resuscitate him. No one was doing anything. It's all on film. Yeah, there's 4 or 5 cops that were there that say that they were all trying to resuscitate him. It didn't happen. You know, what the fuck's going on? This is not right. And people are so fucking on edge right now. You know, and like I said, I'm as white as it comes. And this is a racist thing, man. This is racism. And is it not even, and not only is it racism, it's corruption. Like I said, we have these people that are not trained and qualified to wear a gun on their hip and have the, what's the word that I'm looking for? Have the privilege to fire that when they feel threatened. If that's the case, if anybody can be a cop and get a gun and shoot at somebody, then shit, anybody should be able to have a gun. You use a gun, it's a last minute. And could I ever be a cop? Could I ever do that? Could I walk the line of life and death every day and decide that and have to make that life or death decision, and someone pops out with a gun and shoots at me just because I'm a cop because I didn't even do anything wrong? I know that happens, and I'm on your side. I respect that. I could never do that. I don't have the balls to do that. I can't explain what that's like, but you know what you signed up for. You know what the job entitles. That's what comes with it. Taking your gun and using your gun responsibly and using it as a last measure of defense and safety, I'm okay with. But shooting at people and covering it up, I'm not okay with, and nobody's okay with that. But you have to understand, this nation, it's happening again and again and again and again, and it just keeps being white cops and African American males. And is that the only people that are affected by these cops, going beyond their cops going beyond their fucking jurisdiction, not their jurisdiction, but they're going beyond their badge. Because they have a badge, they act like they have all these other rights, pulling people over just because they are in like a high crime area, usually when they're fucking black. Those aren't the only people. It's not just the black people, though. Do I think a lot of the stuff that they're showing is racism and in some of these towns where it's predominantly black community and a predominantly white police force? Yes, because we're seeing it time and time again. You want to go back to, the Michael Brown and the Ferguson stuff, for those people to riot and burn that town down and act like fucking idiots and animals. Do I think that's right? No. That's fucking, you're being idiots. You're making yourself look dumb. All these people that talk all these stereotypes and shit, you're giving them more of a reason, all these stuck-up conservative people that think they're better than people and higher than people because of their skin color, because of their their privilege or their how much money they make, their class. Nobody's better than anybody. I don't care who you are. I've seen all walks of life. I've seen rich people. I've seen poor people. I've seen sinners. I've seen the most religious people. I've seen addicts. I've seen homeless. I've met and talked to almost every walk of life. And one thing I've learned, people aren't that different. They may have different circumstances. They may have grew up with different surroundings. Instead of shooting people instead of controlling black communities with fear and making the cops versus them mentality and giving them that because we are stopping them for no reason or shooting them for no reason and covering it up and doing this and doing that. Instead of doing all that, why don't we try to help them change their reality? Not letting them. If my dad's dad doesn't have a job, sits around, steals, does drugs all day, drinks, pretty much, just steals his way through life, never doesn't want to work, doesn't do anything, has 5 kids from 4 different women, and then my dad does the same thing. When I'm growing up and I'm seeing that, my grandpa and my dad and everybody doing that, what am I how's my life gonna go? It's gonna probably be a lot like that. I don't really have an option. That's reality that I've grown in. That's what I'm accustomed to. That's my environment. That's what I think is the norm. I think that's normal. So I'm going to do the same thing because I want to be like them because I don't know any better. So instead of shooting these people and calling them criminals and doing that, we need to find a way to help them change their environments and help them grow up with better standards and in better worlds. Because what's going on is not working. It is not working. And something has to be done. It's got me so fired up. I kind of got sidetracked there, but what I was saying about Michael Brown and the Ferguson thing, we know that there was no video there. So, realistically, 100% what happened, only 2 people know that. There's a couple witnesses and stuff, but no, they pretty much proved that nobody was close enough to see what, actually went down. Because they just, a lot of people said they were witnesses, their stories didn't conflict, or they did conflict and they didn't, make sense or whatever, so they did their thing, and just writing somebody a message, jumping in a discussion. But one thing we do know, one thing that we do know is that because of the experts, that plenty of experts that studied this and took all the evidence and did everything they could to figure it out and piece it together and looked at it from both sides, we do know that Michael Brown was in that car. For some reason or another, he was reaching in that window when that gun went off. So that evidence goes against him. For a lot of people to say he had hands up, walking away. But who knows? We have a lot of experts that say that. But what do we know about experts? What have we learned in the past in the RowdCAST? All of my little grasshoppers out there and my little peasants and my little students that listen to me. What have we learned? Experts. We like to use that word. Experts. Scientists. Doctors. What do we know about all of those names? Guess what they like? Just what everybody else likes in this world. Money. You can't pay somebody. You can't tell me you can't pay it'd be pretty risky to give a crime scene investigator or a evidence analysis person some money to pay them off and say, hey, maybe that happened more like this, and it didn't happen exactly how you said it happened, right? You know? I'm not saying that happened. I'm not implying that happened, but I'm not saying that we can't rule that out as a possibility. But in that case, we know that he did not have his hands up, and he was not walking away. That's what we get from the evidence. So, it doesn't look good in that case, and you had a lot of people freak out about that, and in that case, it looked like they were wrong, and they freaked out, for no reason. I mean, they were upset that another black man died, but then you have to think where they're coming from. Every day they see this kind of shit, where people really, some of the people in their community don't do shit, and they get accused of it or arrested for something they didn't do, or shot for, complying for what they were doing. They have to deal with this every day. So, even though in that case, we might have been wrong. They might have not been correct. Michael Brown was a criminal. He robbed a store before that and, punched the dude in the face and walked out, and he did all that shit. But you can't blame these people for thinking that this cop did something dirty because they have a dirty police force. And we're finding out now that Ferguson was dirty. That they were sending all kinds of racist emails and talking all kinds of shit on African-American people and Mexican people and stuff like that. And they're predominantly white. So there's truth to the merit that they're fucking racist cops. There's truth. Yes, in that case, Darren Wilson, I think that was his name, may have did everything he was trained to do, and he acted the way that he needed to act. But that doesn't mean that the fucking police force isn't racist, and that's why the people fucking rioted and went crazy, because there's fucking racist cops there, and they treat all the black people like shit. It's not a very hard fucking concept to understand. And what I'm getting at is, we thought Rodney King was bad. We thought Ferguson was bad. I'm telling you right fucking now, it's about to get real bad. This kind of shit keeps happening. We're going to see some fucking people go off the handle, dog. You're going to see some fucking people lose their marbles. And I'm talking, people are on, it's not just African American people. There's a lot of people. There's white people. There's Mexican people. There's Asian people. Every kind of people that are starting to wake up and say, hey, wait, this isn't right. Yeah, that cop did harass me. I've never done anything wrong. I have a clean record. And this cop was, talking down to me and treating me like shit, and I didn't do anything wrong, and he was really cocky, and, I don't understand what was wrong with him today. We've all ran across those cops that it just seems like they're having a bad day. And I'm sure plenty of cops running across people that are criminals and that are having bad days and are nasty as fuck, and they got to deal with this shit too. It's people. We're fucking people. It's normal. But there's not an entitlement. I respect a police officer. Anything a police officer asks me to do, I will do. No questions asked. I respect authority. I used to not be that way. But when you're liars, you're criminals, you're racist, I have no respect for you. I don't care if you have a badge. You have no respect in my eyes. I won't bow down to you. I won't respect you. You can carry a badge all day. That's the difference. And that's the difference with everybody that's out there. There's more of us than there are police. That's the problem. We just want police to protect and serve what we pay our taxes and pay their salaries to do. Keep us safe. Keep my kids safe. Keep my streets safe. Keep me safe. Keep my house safe. Keep my city safe. Keep my country safe. That's more the Army, but you get where I'm going with it. That's what we want. And yes, we know nobody's perfect. I know nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Every cop's allowed to make mistakes and do something that they, regret and wish they would have did or acted different. We all do. That's part of being human. We all make errors. But accountability for our actions, and just because you're a police officer and your buddy wears a badge, works in your precinct, and wears your suit and looks just like you, but he doesn't exactly follow the rules and doesn't do things correctly, and maybe he has a bad marriage, or maybe he lost somebody in his life and he's just got a kind of a screw loose, or he's on meds, and he's kind of a loose cannon, and you don't say anything. You let that go. You're just as bad as he is. You that's my thing, is there is loyalty to a certain degree. If you're a police officer and you know that there's somebody that's doing things that aren't right, that's your job to stand up and say, listen, this shit's corrupt. Do I know what it's like to be a cop, though? To be a good cop working in a corrupt-ass fucking town? No. Because usually if it's like that and everybody that's on your police force is corrupt, your police chief's corrupt, your mayor's corrupt, your governor's corrupt, your whole city council's corrupt, everybody's corrupt. So you blow the whistle, you don't really get far. What else have we learned on the RowdCAST, kiddies? What else have we learned? Excuse me again, I'm thirsty as fuck. I'm talking, blabbing my fucking jaws. What else have we learned? What was I getting at? We've learned that what happens to whistleblowers, what happens to people that blow the whistle on certain truths and say this is wrong and this is against the law. Look at Edward Snowden, Julian Assange. Some people will say they're traitors. What did they do? They told us that the government's doing things that they said they weren't, and that are illegal, that should be illegal. Spying on people, taking people's information, using the internet for their own needs, and letting us pretty much give our lives to the internet and access into our lives to anyone, pretty much. What happens to those guys? They're on the run in different countries. They can never come back. If they come back, they'll be in prison for life. If not, executed and killed. Our U.S. government wants them dead. Why? Because they told us the truth. That's the kind of country that we're living in, people. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. You make the decision. I think it's pretty fucked up, and I'm tired of it. That's what this is all about. I'm tired. I've had enough. I'm throwing in the fucking towel. But what I'm trying to say is, we think these riots we've seen are bad. What happens when we have 10 cities all at the same time start fucking this shit hitting the fan? That's when you're going to have this bullshit that we've been talking about, where martial law hits, because everybody's rioting, going fucking crazy, and cops are going to start fucking fighting it out in the streets. You're probably going to have police officers dying because people are going to say, we've had enough of these corrupt fucking cops. It's such a, I'm looking at the news right now and it's showing Eric Garner. I almost forgot about him. Can't fucking forget about him. It took 6 people, fucking 6 guys. He was selling fucking Lucy cigarettes, individual cigarettes, and they throw him down and they choke him out. Five cops holding him down, choke him out. He's already an obese man. He can, I'm sure he's strong. Takes 5 of you, hold him down, and not only do you just hold him down, one guy puts a fucking chokehold on him, choking him. The dude's screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. They fucking choke him to death. They kill him. He dies in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. This shit's got to stop. Accidents happen, yes. Does the media blow this shit out of proportion? Fuck yes. Do they try to twist it and more make it black versus white? Yes, they do. It's not about black versus white in a lot of the shit. You know? It's more about cops doing what they're supposed to do. But are there these racist communities and stuff like this that we have, you know, racist police? Yes. That's fact. We're seeing it over and over again. But it also goes into police officers doing what they're paid to do and what they take an oath to fucking do. If anybody has any questions, I'd really like to hear them. I'd really like to hear people's reactions to this shit that's going on and hear what people think. You know, I hope that people that listen to this, I'd like you to take, you know, your thoughts, your comments, go onto the RowdCAST page underneath the link for this episode, you know, put your 2 cents in. Anybody that listens to this, you know, I'd like to see, because I know this isn't a black and white issue. I don't think, you know, there's definitely a gray area. I can understand certain people how they can defend the police, and I get that. I totally get that. I do, but something's wrong, and something needs to be fixed, and I'm not going to shut my voice off. The RowdCAST will be here for years to come. I promise you that. It's something that I enjoy doing. It's my outlet. It's my voice. I can be heard. If only 35, 40 people listen each week, oh well. That's 35, 40 people that heard my message. Maybe it was a incoherent message, a fucking rambling of a madman on his fucking office rocker that's slowly on his way to becoming a scary old man. That's fine. You don't have to agree with me, but it's gonna be out there, floating around fucking out there in space, where you can download it and plug it into your brain. This is our nation is the greatest nation in the world. I'll believe that. I can't express how much I love being an American, how much I love America. I love being free. And, you know, even if it is a disillusion of freedom that we live in, that we, you know, maybe that's what we're conditioned to believe, that we're free, but realistically we got a lot more rules and freedoms that have been stripped away than we believe. You could go down that road. That's a debate for another time. But we still got it fucking good, people. You know we do. You can't complain too much. Yeah, would I like the whole world to be fixed and all the problems to be fixed and everything that's in my life to be fixed and me to be a better person? Yes. Is that going to happen overnight? No. Can we, everyone together, team up together and say, hey, even though you guys are a bunch of police officers and you think that you're above us, we are the citizens and we run the country. We decide who runs office, even though most of our votes don't feel like they count. We are still more than you. Our voice together is louder than your voice together. So if we want to make a change, we're not going to tell you we want to make the change. We're going to come make the fucking change. you know, it's beyond crazy, some of the things we've seen in the last couple of years. But I'm telling you, I hate being so apocalyptic. We haven't even scraped the iceberg, people. Shit's about to start getting real weird. Our technology, we're moving way too fast with technology. Fucking, you know, our society is definitely darker than ever. I think people are more sensitive than ever, but our society's getting a lot darker too. We're letting a lot more things slide than we would ever let slide. So of course you're going to have more people that are offended. Man, I think of this dude's family, man. You know, and I don't know if it's a maturity thing or, you know, years ago I wouldn't have gave two shits about a story like this. But now, you know, I don't, you know, people say, what's a black man fighting, blah, blah, not listening, he was running away, shouldn't have been. Dude, it's somebody's fucking family member. And it don't matter nothing that he did deserved to be executed. It's an execution. You know, he wasn't sprinting, he wasn't talking, he wasn't aiming anything, he wasn't threatening the guy's life, he was just running away. I mean, you know how many times I ran from cops when I was younger? Shit, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even give you a fucking ballpark number of how many times I ran, seen a cop, and he's like, hey, stop, and I ran. You know? If I had to fucking dodge bullets too, holy fuck. But guess what? I'm not black. So I never had to worry about if a cop was going to pull out, he's going to start shooting me in the back when I was running away. And, I heard that comment too. Well, if cops would shoot more people in the back when they were running away, people wouldn't run. Now, do you think that's really a fucking smart thing to say? That's one of the dumbest things I've ever said. Or ever heard someone say. I didn't say that. That's fucking retarded. My heart's beating because I'm fucking fired up. Like I said, I look at this man, and he was a man. He wasn't a kid. You know, I think he was 40-something or late 30s. He had 2 or 3 kids. He had fucking, you know, and his mom. They have his mom on the fucking news, and what did she say? You know, I want that cop to die. I want that cop to go in prison for life and stuff. No, she didn't say that at all. She said, I forgive him. He's already forgiven. She said, God will figure it all out. It's, you know, you look at somebody like that, their son just got murdered by someone that was supposed to be, should be protecting him and the community, and she's not mad at all. She already forgives him. It's okay. You can see the pain in her eyes. But, you know, we can look at that woman and we can all learn a lot. Because what this dude did was a murder. Why he shot him so many times? Was he pissed off? Did they, you know, I mean, what you hear his family members say is he wouldn't have fought with the cop. He wouldn't have gotten a scuffle. But then they say at the beginning of the video, it's hard to see, they might be on the ground wrestling around. So, was he wrestling with him? Was he doing what he wasn't supposed to do? Possibly. Did he maybe get the better of the cop and kind of get away? The kid that taped it said that the cop kept tasering him, and he was trying to get the taser away from him. He kept getting tasered, so he tried to stop. He was trying to push him back from getting tasered, and that's when he got up and got away. So was that what happened? He got the better of him, and cop was pissed off, and he was like, you know what, fuck you. He didn't think. His emotion took over. He pulled that trigger and fired a couple times, and that was it. We don't know. All we know is he shot almost a full clip out of a 9mm at the back of him. And it killed him. And now that cop is going to stand trial for what he did. He's going to stand trial for murder. And it's about time that we as a country and as a judicial system start holding even cops, firefighters, whatever job you have. I don't care what job. If you're a lawmaker, judge, Senate, Congress, president, whatever you did, whatever high source of power you have, you're going to be held responsible for your actions, just like everybody else in this great country that we live in. You want to do anything. You want to go down and steal fucking gas. You want to go rob your neighbor. You want to rape a woman. You want to threaten somebody's life. These are all things that you'll be held accountable for. You want to murder somebody. You want to shoot somebody in the back, you'll go to jail. You'll go to prison if you shoot and kill somebody. So it's time that just because you have a badge and you've sworn oath and you think that law thing that we all follow, you don't have to abide by, bullshit. It's called YouTube, bitch. And we all got it on our phone. And we all got fucking cameras on us now. And, they say they're trying to outlaw cameras. This is why they're trying to outlaw cameras, people. Because now we all have a voice. We can record a video and send it instantly in seconds. We have it all on our fingertips. And that's what I'm saying about technology. This shit's about to get way crazier. We're going to start seeing things that are way crazy that we just can't believe, that are caught on video by everyday people. But I think I've ranted enough. I've given you enough. Another episode of this fine show, this live podcast that I do. I love it. I fucking love every one of you motherfuckers that listen. You guys are fucking the shit. My fans are the best fans. And, don't be afraid to fucking tell me. Don't be afraid to tell me, that you love listening or what I can do better, because fucking shit. Nobody is fucking safe. That is correct. It's, it don't matter where you live, it don't matter what you do, but I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna be a person that, because of someone's skin color, say, oh, well, yeah, they shouldn't have ran. Dude, you shot him fucking 5 times. You shot at him 8 times. Yeah, you probably should go back to the firing range, because you probably should have hit him all 8 times. You were fucking only a couple 100 feet away. And that too, you're firing fucking 9mm in a fucking park. A stray bullet, shoot off, fucking go into a house, kill a kid or something. It's just, I think, thinking before we pull the trigger is something that all cops need to work on. But that's a whole different subject other than corruption in the police force. But training these people and making sure these guys are qualified, or women, guys and women, men and women both, are qualified to handle a gun every day and shoot a gun every day if that happens. But that's all on the people that are that are hiring these police officers, that are making these courses for these police officers to take. Really, like I said, I'm fired up. I'm like starting to work up a little sweat here. I've been just fucking pacing frantically, just talking shit. But hey, it is what it is. I'm glad that anybody was fucking listening live. Love you. Anybody that downloads it, you guys keep fucking blowing my statistics off the chart. I'm getting all kinds of views. Love you all. The RowdCAST is done. for Wednesday night. I will be back Sunday night at 8 p.m. just like normal. Probably more shit to spew about law enforcement, that corrupt law enforcement. But I will see you then. Thank you for joining in. And don't be afraid to comment. If you have fucking input or comments, throw them on the Facebook page. You got something that you want me to talk about on Sunday, throw it up there. I check it out all the time, and we'll talk about it. And you're always welcome to fucking be a part of the live show and talk your nonsense with me. So, peace. I'm going to bed pretty soon. Gonna watch some more of this news, even though CNN's the devil, and that'll be the end of my Wednesday night. So, love you guys all. Ready, Radloff. I'm signing out of the RowdCAST. Peace.